Hi, welcome back to my channel, Fabulously Frugal and Fancy. I'm Brandy. My channel is all about being frugal, saving money, and having fabulous things on a very tight budget. So today we are going to be going over some trash to treasure. I have some items here that would normally go in the garbage, and instead we are going to turn them into some beautiful storage and some home decor items. So I hope you enjoy that. I'm just going to go real quick and show you what I have that would normally go in the trash. This container is plastic. It has the flip top lid. This had Parmesan cheese in it. It's been washed out. The tag's taken off. I'm going to use this as some storage. I have these tin cans that are a little bit larger. I have some storage ideas for these. This container here is a cardboard. It has a 10 lid and a 10 bottom. I'm going to make something out of this. This would normally go in the garbage. I have a bottle that was pink, and you know, pink, I just can't let it go to waste. So I have a decor idea for that. And then I have some boxes. This box came with my hot airbrush in it. It has magnetic closures. It's very sturdy. So this is a box I'm going to want to decorate and make into a decorative storage container. And then I have three sturdy, very sturdy shoe boxes, different sizes, but I'm going to turn these into something decorative, some decorative storage containers. And then I have this box that is my old phone box, very sturdy box, and I have an idea to make with these and decorate these as well. So again, these are items that we would throw away. So this is about sustainability, keeping, actually these I would normally recycle a lot of these. However, storage boxes can be expensive, and the decorative ones can be even more expensive. So I have some fun ideas to make with these things. I'm excited about this pink bottle because this will be really cute for a vase or something. So I'm excited about this. Again, these trash to treasure items are going to be fun to decorate. I hope you enjoy, and I hope that you get some inspiration before you throw things out, either into the recycle or into the trash, about what you can make for home decor and storage ideas as well. So stick around and watch what we do. See you soon. Alright, so DIY number 1. This inspiration came from this little storage box. I got this from, I believe, Big Lots. You see these all over the place. And so I found some sturdy shoe boxes. Some shoe boxes are pretty flimsy. These are really thick, really sturdy, and I just couldn't see throwing them away. And so, as you can see, I just painted them white. I started with the white just to give them a base. They were pretty dark in color. Had writing, tags, things like that on there. I just gave it all a good coat of white. And what I didn't do, but I would recommend doing, is taking some painter's tape and just going around the corners just to make it a little bit more solid at the corners, because they're kind of joined together. I didn't do that for these, but the next ones I make, I will do that. So I just gave each one of these a good coat of white paint. Actually, I gave them a good coat of white because that's just my base. It's kind of like a primer. And so I just paint the top, the back, and the sides, the front. I did not bother to paint the bottoms because these are going to sit on a shelf. I didn't paint the insides. I did have to kind of paint them in stages so that the top part and the sides, they could all dry separately. So, pardon me, I do have a little bit of an allergy attack today, and I am trying not to sniffle. I apologize if I do. My allergies have just been going a little crazy because the weather is going a little crazy. I really don't care how the insides of these boxes look because these are just for, storing things on my shelf in my craft room or in my closet area. I wanted them to be pretty, but I'm not worried about what the inside of them looked like. If you are, you can line them with contact paper or you can paint the insides. Now this shoebox here I end up not using because this one came apart at the seams, but not while I was painting it here. It didn't come apart till later. It was really flimsy after I painted it, and I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe the paint loosened it a little bit, but this one I end up throwing away and not using because it was not as sturdy as the other two. But you can have some that are really sturdy and some that are just more flimsy. This one was sturdy at first, but it did not last. That's why I would suggest just taking like painter's tape or masking tape around all the seams. If you can see here on this left hand corner there, that seam is already coming loose and I had not realized it. So it came loose all the way. And then I'm just going through my scrapbook paper stash. I have quite a bit, various shades of pink because I love pink, and I'm just kind of looking for a pattern first. And I just measure that lip in the front there. I just line it up and realized I had forgotten to grab a pen or a pencil and I didn't have one sitting there on the table, so I just lined that up, trying to make sure it was straight, and then I used another piece of scrapbooking paper as a straight edge, and I just drew a line, and then I just kind of measured the length, took that all the way over and did this so that I could go all the way around the lip of that lid. With this color, and each box turns out differently. I do not show you all the details of me doing all of the details on each box. I just show you the finished product, but I do kind of show you what I do here. But this is going to be depending on your style. If you will just want to paint these, I have a couple that I just painted like a metallic silver that currently sit on my shelf. I use those for various things. But this one I wanted to be a little bit more, these two I wanted to be a little bit more decorative. So then I'm just cutting the strips to go around the front edge of that lip there. So my first coat of paint was just to kind of cover it up. I don't worry too much about the lid not being perfectly colored because, as you can see, I'm using Mod Podge and just using that paper there and going all the way around that lip of the lid. And I just use a lot of Mod Podge. I just really kind of put it on there thick because the cardstock paper is really thick and I want it to stick very well. So I just do quite a bit of that. Lay my piece. I do have it looped over the edge so there's not like a sharp corner there. And then I match up the next piece. Fold it over the corner there, and then I just go all the way to the end. I do let it hang off for a little bit and then I end up trimming that down a little bit later. So I just use, again, the decorative scrapbooking paper that I have. You could use wrapping paper. You can find some beautiful wrapping paper that is really inexpensive. You just have to look around, especially if you find some on clearance. It's an awesome time to pick it up when you find it on clearance. So wrapping paper works really well, scrapbooking paper. So I did the underneath of Mod Podge and then I go with a layer over. I have not trimmed this off yet, as you can tell. I wanted to get the outer layer of Mod Podge on before any of it slipped or tried to fall off because the paper is so thick, so it wasn't penetrating through the paper like it normally does when you're using Mod Podge. So, and then I'm doing the same with the top of the box. I didn't even measure this one. I just put the paper down first and then I cut it off and then I add more to the side where it's not quite as long as the box as the box itself, excuse me. Now I know we each have our own styles. Some people like farmhouse, some people like rustic, some people like country cottage. Whatever your style, these ideas are just to inspire you to look at what you have at home. Look at the things that you would normally throw away or recycle and use these to make something instead of going out and buying these storage boxes. They can get expensive. If you get them at Michael's or at Hobby Lobby, these boxes can be really expensive. And they're cute, they are, but they're just a cardboard box just like these are. So if you can make these pretty, then you don't have to, add more to, landfills and all of that. It's more sustainable, and it's also saves you money as well. So it's good for you, it's good for the environment. It's good all around just to be able to reuse some of these items that you would normally just throw away or recycle. So I did the same thing on the top. I used the Mod Podge. And then I had gotten a couple of different kinds of napkins from Amazon. These are floral prints, and I just grabbed some of these and I just decorate with the florals that are on them. I really like these big roses. I love florals. I love roses. I love all things pink. So this is my style and this is how I'm doing them. But again, you can decorate these any way you want. Now these had like a green trim around them. I didn't want those on this one. My other box I do end up using the green trim as well. But these I just cut out. I don't do a real fussy cut. I do leave some of the white. But I did kind of do like a sort of fussy cut, if you want to call it that. I just kind of curved in where the leaves were and around it, but I just kind of did like an oblong shape around each of the pictures that were on there. Just I didn't have all of the napkin, but because I still wanted to be able to see some of the pink through. And then I just take another piece of that same napkin and I take another one of the floral pieces. And the first one I do not drape down over the front of the lip, but the second one I do start it down low, fold it over so that the picture you can see from the front and on the top as well. But the other one I just left hanging, and once the Mod Podge is dry I can just tear that away, any of the excess there, so that it's not hanging down. If you are using Mod Podge, just be prepared for your hands to be sticky. It just seems like no matter what, they get sticky. So here's both of them together. The two boxes that I did, as you can see, I used different napkins on each one, different colors, but they both turned out really cute. They both go together. I really like how they both turned out, and I think they will look good on my shelf with just some of my necessary items inside. All right, moving on to the random boxes that we're going to turn into storage. I had this large box, and this box is very solid. It also has like a magnetic closure on the front to keep it closed. My drying brush came in this, and I just couldn't see throwing this box away because it was very sturdy. And so I painted all white. I don't worry about the inside, I don't worry about the bottom, and I don't worry about anything under that flap. I just do the front flap, the top, the back flap, and the sides. I paint all of this white to start out just to get a base coat. This is kind of like my primer. Again, this is just a base coat. I end up painting this a different color later on. And like I said, this box is really sturdy, so it works out perfectly for storage. And there I'm doing the end pieces as well. As you can see, I did the back, top flap, the front flap, and both sides. But I left the bottom, I left the inside. The inside's pink, it's fine with me. I don't really care if you can see the logo on the inside. And then I take the two pieces of the box that my cell phone came in. I painted those white as well. I didn't want to show you all of that. And then I take this paint that I got here is a rose gold paint. And I paint the entire box of these. I do paint the bottoms on these, and I'm not quite sure why I did. I think that they were just because I had painted them white to cover all the logos and stuff. I don't know. I end up painting the bottom, the sides, the inside, the rim, every piece of these boxes I paint with this rose gold paint. And it is kind of like a metallic finish paint. I actually got 2 bottles of this on clearance for 50 cents a bottle. And I really like this paint. It's kind of like I don't know that it looks rose gold to me. It looks more like a metallic mauve, but it is really pretty. I just don't know that I would call it rose gold, but that's what the bottle says. So I'll have to go with what they say now. So I'm just trying to move some things around so everything can dry. And then I am painting the larger box in the same color, but I don't do the sides on this one. I just do the front flap, the top of the lid, and the back of the box in this rose gold metallic color. Because these are all going to go on or near my dressing table area. And I have a little bit more glamorous things in that area, so these I'm doing in more of a glamorous design. I like how they turned out. So don't mind the mess behind what I'm working on. There is a lot going on in my craft room. My craft room has been undergoing many changes. Actually, my craft room was upstairs and is being moved down to the basement for some safety reasons. One of the people that live in our home is struggling with dementia and getting into some things, and I don't want them to get hurt. So everything moved downstairs. Alright, so here's the next step. I'm using some of this bling wrap from Totally Dazzled. And if you have not checked out the website on Totally Dazzled, their prices are really reasonable and their products are very beautiful. And this is a lot of this bling wrap in this rose gold color, and I think it's gorgeous. And so I am using some of this for here and for my 2 smaller boxes. And I use some of the Totally Dazzled jewels on these as well. All of the bling items that I used in today's video did come from totallydazzled.com. There's some sales going on Totally Dazzled. This is not a sponsored video of any kind. I just really liked her product. I did do a review of an unboxing when I received the items. Sorry, I had to change my battery on my glue gun right there. And so I'm going through my different rose gold pieces to see which one I want to use. Just kind of check out what I have in the rose gold. I got a lot more in the silver than I did in the rose gold, but I did get a few pieces in the rose gold, and I really think they are stunning. So I wanted to use some of those today. And the one that I picked did actually have like a pin on the back because it was like a brooch. And so I just pulled that off with my aviator snips. And then I do end up trimming that bling that I got there in half because I wanted the gem to stand taller than the ribbon itself, the ribbon of the bling. So I cut that down. And I just set the other pieces aside. So I made it more narrow there. And then I take the excess piece that I just had, I cut that in half as well to go around the other smaller boxes. And the smaller boxes I plan on using sitting on my dressing table to put my jewelry in, and maybe some of my like lipsticks and stuff in there. I did not measure to make sure that this was even top to bottom. I did not measure to make sure it was anything except for level. And because the jewels are in a row, it was pretty easy to line that up with the edges there. And I would just do glue, you know, I did like 4 places across the whole front of the box of glue just to kind of hold it down. And be careful with using the hot glue with these bling wraps because the glue will come through. So I use my little, oh, my glue had not even set up there enough yet, and the weight of the little jewel just pulled it right off. So I give it just a minute longer, added a little bit more glue, and showing you the finished product there. As you can see, I did not even do anything to the bottom of that box, but when it's all set up, you can't even tell that the bottom has the instructions and so forth on the bottom. I didn't want to waste the paint. I didn't have a lot more left of this bottle, and so I didn't want to waste it. The color is just so pretty. I was like, no point. So again, these are the 2 pieces of the box that my Google Pixel 4GA, I don't know, my phone came in, and it's very sturdy. Showing you the little jeweled piece there that I have. Something sticking to my finger. All right, and then I just do the same thing with the second one, just kind of lining that up, wrapping it around the back. I don't bother to cover the entire back because the back is not going to be seen. These are for my personal use, so I try not to use any more product than what I absolutely need to for what I'm doing, because if I'm selling something, it'll be wrapped all the way around. Otherwise, I'm not going to worry about it too much because I can save the little pieces. This one's a little heart brooch looking piece. And I just eyeballed the center. Again, I did not measure. Here's those 3 pieces completely finished and stacked together. Here's a little closer look. Just the rose gold bling wrap really makes these look very fabulous. Just very pretty. I really like how these turned out, and I think these are going to look beautiful in my little dressing room area where I put on my makeup and where I store all my jewelry. So I hope you like it as well. All right, moving on to my next thing is not really DIY. It's just reusing this plastic container. I filled it full of these little jewels that I have. I have lots of different colors, and I may put a label on the front, but I think the jewels inside actually decorate it enough and make it look blingy enough without anything else. So that's all I did with this one, was just to clean off the outside, clean off the inside, and fill it up. All right, DIY number 4 are cans and the cardboard bottle holder that I had. Now this is cardboard on the top and it is tin on the bottom, so it will hold weight. It had a full bottle of stuff inside of it before, so it does hold weight. And I had this scrapbooking paper. It's like a light pink with rose gold roses embossed in it, and I just think it's so pretty. And it doesn't reach quite all the way around. There's a little gap, but that's okay because I just plan on marking this with the top of the jar, or the top of the what I'm going to make into like a vase or storage for my paintbrushes or something. But again, I really love pinks of all shades, so all right. And I cut off a piece of that scrapbooking paper from the top, and I used that piece to go right over that there to fill in that gap. And I used Mod Podge to attach this. I could have used the hot glue. I just used Mod Podge. It worked perfectly. I did not take Mod Podge all the way around. I just used it, believe it or not, right here at the seam where I put this extra piece of paper. I just kind of molded that a little bit. The paper wasn't totally straight. I kind of bent it and rolled it around the piece there for a minute. Again, using Mod Podge, your hands will get very sticky if you are like me, because my hands just get into everything, and then I have you know, pieces of scrap paper hanging off my hand. If you are a messy crafter like I am, you will understand what I mean. Excuse me. Alright, so I just use my finger and kind of spread it around there. Hold the piece of paper down until it starts to get tacky enough to hold it itself. And that is all I do to this right now. And then I set it aside to dry. I trim the top where it was a little long around the edge. And then I take my 2 tin cans, and one of these I had a piece of scrapbooking paper that was glitter, and it was a leftover piece from where I had made something else, and it did go all the way around, so I used that piece, cut off the top just to make it the same height as the can. And again, I use Mod Podge to attach this. I probably should have used hot glue. I do on the second can, but I don't use scrapbooking paper on that one. But it would have been a little easier. With the can, I do end up having to use a little hot glue to hold the edge of the paper down. Whereas with the cardboard one, I did not have to do that. So just keep that in mind. You might just want to save yourself the time and get out the hot glue to begin with. And I just wrap that all the way around. Add some more Mod Podge, because the Mod Podge on the tin can, it was just not adhering as well. And again, I would recommend just saving yourself the time and just using the hot glue right off the bat. I think too, it may have been because this paper was glitter as opposed to just regular cardstock. It was a lot thicker than just the cardstock. The glitter cardstock ended up being a lot thicker, it seemed like. So again, I would just use the hot glue if I was doing this again, which I probably will. I remember doing cans, decorating cans when I was in Girl Scouts when I was a kid, but we used to use like wrapping paper or wallpaper border. And we would pick out one that we liked and we could wrap it around a can, and then it sat in my room for a long time holding pins and so forth. So this is not a new idea. It's just to give you some inspiration on different things that you can do. Again, please don't mind that mess in the background. My craft room is just, again, moved downstairs. For the next few weeks, I'm going to be trying to organize. I may have to get some more shelves down here, but I just am going to have to organize all of my stuff, go through everything. Everything's currently in bins. Shout out to my nephew who came up and helped me move everything from the second floor of my house all the way back down to the basement, shelves included. So I appreciate the help that he gave me with that. Now on this one, I took the Mod Podge all the way around that one. The second can, I take this piece of leather, and it is a light, like a blush pink, but it's kind of like a crocodile. You know, like that crocodile skin look. And I did use hot glue with this, and I just wrap it around. Pretty simple. I did have to use an extra piece in the back, again, just like I did with the paper on the large can. Now I take more of this bling wrap, and I just cut off a piece that would go around all of them. Set that aside, and then I just cut some pieces. It's pretty easy to cut them into rows. You just have to, if I had had my cutting mat out and my rotary cutter, I could have just zip and cut all the way through, and would have been much easier. But again, I just moved my craft room, and not all of my things are locatable at the moment. I can't find a lot of my stuff at the moment, but I'll get there. It's a pain when you have to pack everything up and move it to a new location. It just takes you a while to get it to where you can find anything at all. I'm glad I was able to find all the basics just to do these projects this time. So, all right, so I take the large vase that I made, and I take a small strip of the bling wrap. Again, using my little thing from the Dollar Tree that is silicone. Excuse me. I just use that to kind of press it down and hold the edge. I do the top and the bottom in a more narrow strip of the bling wrap, and then I believe I did one around the center that was just a little bit wider than the one at the top and bottom. These do not, when they are finished, they do not look like items that would have gone in the trash. They really don't look like a tin can and a cardboard container of any kind. They really turn out very cute, and they do match the boxes that I made earlier. They do match those. And I believe at the end I have them all put in the same spot. Now here come out my Totally Dazzled pins and brooches and just bling. And I pick one out to go in the front, and I put that on the center row of the bling wrap. And then I set that laying down flat because, again, I don't want that to fall off the way my other one had. Here's where I'm adding a little bit of hot glue to secure that paper down that I should have just used to begin with, but that's okay. So I'm just doing a simple row around the center of the tin can with the glitter paper. And the glitter and that bling together, they just look beautiful. I love the different textures of the different paper. One with glitter, one with the embossed roses, the one of leather. I just love mixing my textures. But they all do match as well because of the bling wrap and the bling brooches and so forth that I add to them. That makes them all cohesive, but they all are unique as well. And they go together, but they aren't matchy-matchy. As you know, I like a little bit of variety, but the different kinds of textures really make it look unique, I think. Each one has its own style. Going through the same process, just gluing on that last jewel. All right, here's how all three of my containers or vases look. Again, they all are cohesive and match, but they are not matchy-matchy. There's the pink leather and the two with the scrapbooking paper. I just love how these turned out. I think they are gorgeous in the end, and whether you put flowers in them or use them as pen holders or paintbrush holders, they just look fabulous. All right, we have one more of this bottle I turned into some beautiful decor. Very simple. I had this pink bottle. After it was washed out, I used this crushed rhinestone ribbon and this jeweled ribbon. Both of these I got from Amazon. And I just take the crushed rhinestone ribbon first and I wrap it around that gray tag at the top. Now the rhinestone ribbon does not have any adhesive on the back, but the silver diamond rhinestone bling wrap does have its own adhesive on the back, so the adhesive is very strong on the bling wrap, so I use it. I don't have any problem with it. It's never come off. So I've used it on several different projects in the past. So I did the crushed rhinestone ribbon around the center, and then I did some of the jewels right below it, and then I do more jewels up the top in a smaller ring, but I can still see the lips, so then I take a larger piece and I wrap that around the very top of the bottle so you can't see any of the actual bottle itself there. Very blingy. So I take some of that bling wrap and I go around the bottom of the bottle. Now I just eyeballed it. I do not think I got it perfectly straight, perfectly level all the way around, but honestly it looks so cute in the end. I don't think anybody's going to be pulling out a measuring tape or a level to make sure I got it perfectly right. On this top piece, it is a little bit wider, and it is crooked at first. I notice it, so I fix it because it's so noticeable that I can fix it, that I can see it, because if it's that noticeable, we got a problem. I do not have the straightest like aim with stuff like that. If I'm hanging a picture, I'm using a level, but this one was so crooked that I notice it, so that I peel it off. But the adhesive takes a while for it to like be fully cured, so it wasn't a problem to pull it off and put it back on. It was still very sticky. I got these off of Amazon, but the jewel I used in the middle of that is from Totally Dazzled as well. And here we have a beautiful vase for, I put some of these feather things in the top. I also got those off of Amazon. And this will look beautiful sitting in my craft room or my beauty area, whatever you want to call it. I really love how this bottle turned out. I just couldn't pass up the pink bottle. I don't know. I hope you enjoyed watching these. Here's a look again at some of the items all together. I would ask you to take a moment, subscribe to my channel, like this video. I am a new YouTuber and I am trying to build up my channel to 1,000 subscribers. So please join our fabulous group here that we have. I hope you have a great day. Bye.